Look! If you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he was calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting when he rolls down.
Welcome to an alternative off the rails version of Profit Time. I figured I would find Lose Yourself Not by Eminem, just to say, hey, we're here. This is Profit Time. Welcome to the show. But this is not Wayne.
Yes, indeedy.
This is Katie covering his show while he is at the dentist. So, side note, newsflash reminder, go to the dentist, go get your yearly checkups, stand up, walk around for a few minutes during today's show, sit up straight in your chair, maybe lift yourself up, move your butt all the way to the back, focus on your posture, make sure you're sitting up straight, pull in that core. We're going to incorporate all the things today, maximizing the time that we're spending together here. And welcome to Profit Time, by the way. Hope you're having a great week. This is the day before winter officially begins. I know Wayne and Kyle here both say that they endure the rest of the year doing all the things with the mowing and the aeration and the landscaping and all the things that we do outside of the snow and ice industry just to live for those snow and ice call-ins where you get the winter weather events. They're checking their BAM app for the forecast accuracy. They're calling the crews saying, hey, we're coming in at 3 a.m. or we're coming in at 2:15. Let's fill up those spreaders with salt. Let's get that original magic in there. Let's do all the things. We're going to rock and roll this winter. So that's basically, what they live for. So, you know what? I'm here for it. More power to you. Some things you love, some things you don't. But I'm excited to be here. Again, this is not Wayne, but this is Profit Time.
Yes, indeedy.
I'm Wayne's daughter, Katie, and I'm taking over today. We're going, what's it called when you're like one wheel up, one wheel not up? Let's just say we're going off-roading. We're not quite off the rails like usual, but we are going to be slightly off the rails. So we'll just say we're slightly off-roading today while I'm taking over. So I wanted to hop on and cover this for Wayne because I know you all love to hear his show. So sorry that you're not hearing his voice right now, but I wanted to come on and talk about kind of the end of the year. So if you're in the Profit Circle with us, you know that we had the webinar yesterday on renewals. And if you're not part of the Profit Circle, you can do a 7-day trial. It's all access. It's not limited access to certain posts. You can do a 7-day trial for free. So treat yourself to that. Treat yourself honestly to the Profit Circle this year for a gift to yourself, a gift to your business. There is so much information in there, such good information. It's not getting watered down. You're not getting the 3 million different opinions from the people on Facebook that may or may not know why they're charging what they're charging or why they're doing this particular advertising or why they're targeting a certain market. So we are really here at the Profits Unlimited and Turfs Up Radio as a whole to make sure that you are surviving and thriving, more importantly, within your business. And part of that is reflection. So this is something that, for those of you that don't know, I was a teacher for 10 years, and this is a practice that I still have daily in my own life. I have really gotten into my gratitude journal that I do at the end of every day. And if you haven't done gratitude journaling, I will grab the name of the one that I have, but I love it because it's so simple. You do a quick assessment, like today I was feeling, and there's things that you circle to just kind of circle up those emotions, and then it kind of helps you process through the day, especially on those more stressful days where you just feel like nothing's going right. Like yesterday, there was this lady, and I just didn't understand what she didn't understand about this situation. And I had talked to her on the phone the day before. And then I come back in that morning and I've got an email from her with the same question. And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this any differently to you. And I was frustrated, which is on me. But I, also kind of took that out on Wayne yesterday. And, I had to kind of check myself before I wrecked myself on that. But it was just one of those things where I was just so frustrated. Like, man, we talked this through yesterday, and I really just don't know how else to explain this to you. But anyway, so the journal that I use every day is called No Worries, a guided journal. Let's see. A guided journal. I can't read the rest of it. To help calm anxiety, relieve stress, and practice positive thinking each day. And I know based on my life experience, based on my teaching experience, especially based on certain times of the year where it feels like you have more problems than not, that it can be tough to pull in those positive things that have happened to us. But that is so important to try to do. And if you're not doing it on a daily basis, if you were listening to the pump station just a little bit ago, like Holly said, you're not going to get it right all the time right away. And there are some days where I forget to journal, or I skip the journal, or I feel like I'm half-heartedly doing the journal. But something is better than nothing, and establishing that practice is good, to point out something good in every day. And that's something I really like about this journal is it's like one page for a day, so you're not spending 30 minutes on it, but it really forces you to process through something stressful that might have happened if you had something stressful happen, and then reframe it into how could I have responded differently. But then it also, like I said, just kind of gives you that quick check-in emotionally of how the day went, and then it forces you to list out 3 things that happened that day that you were grateful for or that were positive, kind of fill in the blank for that. So that is a great thing that I have incorporated into my life, and I have definitely seen kind of pay off in terms of my overall mindset and approach to my day, to my life, to my interactions with people. So definitely something to consider. But reflection is very important within your business as well. So there are so many benefits to reflection. And I think it has to be intentional reflection and not just kind of thinking about it randomly on a Tuesday, right? That's okay too, right? We're gonna be driving home and think of something or whatever in the middle of a job, and you're like, okay, I could have done this differently yesterday with, my crew member Jake or whatever. But sitting down and intentionally processing through your year is very important. And we talk about this more in the profit circle. I know there's some stuff in there too about setting goals with your employees and doing the one-on-one meetings with your employees to look at areas of growth, areas of success, what you can do differently for the next year. And you should be having those conversations more frequently than just year to year, honestly. You should be doing those probably once a quarter or at least twice a year. But you want to do it enough to where both you and your employees know it's something serious and something that you value, but it needs to have structure to it. And you don't want to overdo it, but it needs to be something that you can actually commit to. So here are some of the benefits of reflection. According to the research. So you have improved learning and retention. So studies in the fields of cognitive psychology show that reflection is a powerful tool for reinforcing learning and improving your retention on the things that you have learned. So why is that important to our business? Like, for example, we added on landscape lighting and holiday lighting this season or this year. So it's really important for us as a team to sit down and say, okay, what went well in those projects? What could we have done differently in those projects? What does our billing look like for those things? How do we want to change maybe our follow-up for next year, for example, for our holiday lighting? What's that going to look like in terms of renewals? When do we want to do that? All of those sorts of things. We want to have deliberate reflection on how those things went, both at the end of the season and also also after each job as well, especially as we're learning something new. And shout out to Aaron Walls for all the assistance he's provided to us. On the landscape lighting and the holiday lighting, and I know we've worked with Tony over at Lights for Christmas a lot, and I did a Zoom with Mike and him, I don't know, back in probably September, and I just appreciate their time and willingness to educate the industry, because that's what we're here for as Turfs Up Radio. That's what it's all about, is elevating everyone so that we can elevate the industry. Another benefit to uh, reflection. So, a study in 1994 by Schraw and Dennison found that individuals who engage in reflective thinking actually show better problem solving and decision making abilities. So, those things are critical to having a successful business, not just for you as the owner, but also for your crew leads, your crew members as well. So, this can really just have a very wide impact on your business. Reflection is also going to promote self awareness. And I think I talked about this. I know for sure I've talked about this recently, but I've been on the radio for so much time this week that I just really can't remember when I talked about it. But just being self-aware is so important. And I know I talked about it in the frame of like love languages, and also like the personality assessments that you see. So I remember one that I took when I was still teaching, and I was a gold, and the golds were those people that are, we're very organized. We love structure. We like having a plan. We like step by step. We are very good at seeing the big picture, stuff like that. If you know that's your personality, that's good, because you know like what structures you need in place to help make yourself successful. But if you have an employee who is not a type gold, and they're one of the other types, I can't remember what they were, but they're more focused on like the creativity and less about the big picture, or more about the big picture than you are, whatever it is. It's good to know how that person approaches things, because you'll know how to manage them. You'll know how to provide support for them in terms of growth and continued movement in your organization. And you'll know how to structure the team that they're on as well, because team dynamic is very important. When you've got 2 to 4 or more people stuck in a truck all day together, it's going to be very important that they know how the other person functions, in terms of how they approach tasks, what they're looking for, if they're a let's just get it done type of person, or if they're more like a talk while we work type of person. All of those things are really important. So being self-aware is going to really help you, and reflecting on yourself and your successes and your areas of growth is going to help you be more self-aware. Also, people who do more often reflection, this plays a big role in continuous improvement. So when you especially reflect on setbacks or challenges, you're not only giving yourself and your team the opportunity to learn from mistakes, but it also helps to build resilience and focus on something that's very popular in education, which is called the growth mindset. So the growth mindset is really about seeing challenges as an opportunity to learn, and realizing that we have a lifelong opportunity to continue to learn from both our successes and our mistakes. And, I have this knowledge as a teacher, but you actually, like, your brain, your neurons fire more while you're making mistakes and building those connections in your brain than it does when you're just straight up successful. So it's important to challenge yourself and continue to challenge yourself as a leader, as a crew member, as a business person. It's important to continue to learn. And I know one thing that I talk about all the time with people here is that I really don't think this industry as a whole really values the opportunities that, like for a pesticide license, you have to keep so many continuing education credits, or CEUs. I really don't think that most people in this industry take that for the valuable learning opportunity that it is. And that's something that even the few events that I've been to, for CEUs, that I've noticed is that people just aren't engaged as they could be. And like those opportunities just aren't, I personally believe in what I've seen, as well structured as I, as a former educator and someone who values continuous learning would hope that they are. So I want to challenge you for this year to not only do this reflection and be intentional about reflecting on your areas of success and your areas of improvement, but also taking any CEU requirements you have seriously. And if you don't have any CEU requirements because you're not doing pesticide applicators license or whatever, seeking out valuable educational opportunities and really taking those seriously. One thing that I always tried to do when I went to training, even if it was training that you've heard these things before, is try to establish something that I could walk away with and implement into my classroom the next day. The very next day, I wanted to walk away with something that I was going to try, or some mindset shift that I was going to practice. And so I really want to challenge you to do the same as well as you're reflecting on your business in 2024, to think about what is something that you can walk away for next year and start implementing right away in 2025, and just try it and see how it goes. Reflecting can also boost your motivation and goal achievement. So it's important to celebrate small wins and progress as you're working towards your goals. And if you didn't meet your goals, that's just as powerful to ask yourself, why didn't I meet these goals? Did I set a goal that was too lofty that I wasn't really going to reach? Did I set a goal that I didn't provide the necessary step-by-step like instructions for myself on how I was actually going to achieve that goal? Because that's an important part of goal setting as well, is being able to map out how you're going to actually achieve that goal. For organizations like ourselves, or reflecting on growth allows your business to become more adaptive and innovative. So it's important to do this reflection so that you can help see where your areas of support are for both your administrative side of your business. Maybe it's your the way you're organizing your shop or your facilities. Maybe it's the way you're organizing your crews, something that can be approved. And this can really drive that innovation. And again, that agility to solve problems, that resilience to persevere. Reflection really has so many benefits. And again, it's so important to cheer for yourself and shout out those positive wins that you've had, and look at where can I make improvements for the next time or the next year or the next crew, or fill in the blank. Okay. So I want you to think about that. If you have any successes that you would like to share, feel free to shoot me a text at 502-751-8341, and I'd be happy to share those. I'm actually going to bring on Aaron Walls right now. He said he would hop on with me here and talk about some reflection of his own business this year. So we're going to get him on, and then if anybody else would like to call in, again, just shoot me a text, 502-751-8341, and we will get you on, and we can kind of talk through some of your areas of growth and your successes for this year. So let's go ahead and get the purple Wally on the horn.
Hello.
Hello, AA Ron.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. How's your day going so far today, by the way?
It's going pretty good. Just sitting here in the office hanging out.
Got slurping down your coffee?
Yeah. Well, I got my 20 ounces in. If I could keep hammering if I don't drink that shake. When I drink that shake, it shuts everything off.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Well, and it makes you feel full too. But sometimes I struggle with like my coffee consumption, because it's just, when it's cold, it's just so warm. And I know people are like, well, drink tea. And tea is not as fulfilling for me as coffee, you know?
No.
So
But I will. I'll drink some hot tea.
do you like plain tea with like honey, or like you drinking like a special blend, or just like a Lipton bag, or what are we doing?
I run it through the Keurig.
Mm, gotcha.
I
Okay.
just run straight water and let it sit on a tea bag, and
See,
then I'll let the tea bag dangle,
that
and then
is
I'll
so
throw it out.
smart. You're just a little professional tea drinker over there. All right. So, Aaron, what are and thank you for agreeing to come on here today with me. I know it can be kind of vulnerable putting yourself out there for everybody to hear, but I think it's really important that as business owners and people in general, we talk about our successes and then also our areas for growth. So, let's start with some of the successes that you've had this year. What do you think? What in what ways have both you as a business owner and your business grown and had success?
Well, I think it's grown through subcontracting, not me subbing work out being one.
Yeah.
I thought that was it's scary because when I put my name on it, I know I'm gonna do good. But when someone else takes that risk, like, hey, we're doing it, but you're actually doing it, that was really scary for me to be able to do, and then sit back and wait,
Mm-hmm.
because when I do the work, I've got direct contact with customers. Now, when I do it for someone else, I gotta wait, for that confirmation. Even though I know it's good, I've
Right.
done it. I know you still want that. Okay, finally they said yes, we love it, or it was
Right.
good, or everything's a go. So that was extremely taxing on the brain, I guess, learning
Yeah.
how to do that and just going through that. But I'm small and new, all in the same bubble. So
So
I
it
think that was one of the biggest ones.
so it sounds like to me from that, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm interpreting what you're telling me, but it sounds like you learned a little, like you gained a little bit of patience and a little bit of trust to just trust the process and trust that you are doing the job correctly, even though you're not getting that instant validation.
Right.
And that's really important, like especially in the age of I can order whatever I want and have it in a few days. We get that instant like adrenaline boost or endorphin boost of feeling good that we got this thing we wanted. And I think having that delayed gratification can be hard because just in general as people and as business owners, we don't like to wait on things. So I really applaud you for taking that risk and investing in yourself and trusting yourself to provide high quality work as a subcontractor.
Yeah, and then to see how you guys do it is, I might know how to hook lights up, but that's about as far as it goes.
Hmm.
To see somebody who's been in business 40 something years to put that into me, and then so I get I don't know, it's a I'm getting the education. I feel like even though I'm showing someone how to do lighting,
Yeah.
I get to
Well,
see how a business operates and
right.
office and then employees and all that.
Right. And there's so many benefits to having a good subcontractor relationship, both for the subcontractor and the person, the original company that is subcontracting the work. Kyle's not here. I'd see if he wanted to shoot the breeze for a minute, but I know that like they have learned a lot from you, like you said, about the technical side of the lights, about what questions to ask. Um, I know that I've asked you, like, hey, when someone calls in for holiday lighting, what do I need to ask people? And I wrote down the list of questions that you gave me. So I think that a good relationship like that, when you're working with subcontractors or you are the subcontractor, it's important that both people take something positive from that relationship besides just the transactional component of it.
Yeah, I joke with Wayne about it, and I call it the Bush's baked bean secret. But hell, I think we're both giving away secrets, just
Yeah,
inadvertently, so we can both benefit and grow from it. It's
right,
like you said, the transaction is, it's neat to get that part because that's what we're in it for. But
right.
I've learned a lot from you guys, like selling and marketing and pictures and picture
Hmm.
taking, where to take the pictures and all that. Because it's hard to remember all that when you're installing, selling, collecting, trying to get to the next one. So I
Right, when
don't
you're
know.
doing it
It's
all.
yeah, yeah, it can be extremely challenging. So and then with Kyle's done that landscaping. He's like, yeah, stop turning that away.
Yeah.
I can help you with that, and he does. He educates me on that, and that's So there again, me, I might know a little bit about lights, but he knows a lot more about landscaping and selling and all that. So it's been beneficial to be on the phone with him.
Right. So would you say that that's an area of growth you have for 2025 is trying to acquire more of those landscaping jobs?
Yeah, because they make you look really good, especially around here.
Mhm.
So I I'm not massive by any means. So, but I'm the only one here in Hancock County doing it
Right.
full time. So you can look on Google, but you can't call them guys because they're not in business.
Right.
So I'm doing it. If you want a landscaping job locally, I would be the one to do it. Or you could try to get like BJ. He'll tell you, I don't want it. I want to mow when I get off work
Right.
or Aaron, he's a sheriff, so he does it. He'd say the same thing. I'm trying to mow when I get off work.
Yeah.
Or Austin Balaco, he does roofs when he gets off work. He doesn't want to do landscaping. He's got a crew that mows, and so for landscaping, you're either going to call me or have somebody from Owensboro come in and do it, Owensboro or Evansville.
Mhm.
And I'm starting to get some of them, so I definitely want to grow into doing more of that landscaping.
I think that'll be a good area for you to grow in, and I think, like you said, especially being in like a really small town like you're in. I know you joke about like with Montana, there's so many cows, but you joke all the time about the number of cows that you're passing. But I think it really just gives you an opportunity to um, set yourself as the expert. The professional company to go to in your area, and I think that can be really successful for you. So I know we're gonna we talk about it a little bit in the profit circle, but definitely sit down and think, before spring, like what are my target goals for landscaping? I think it's important to put that into like either some sort of quantity, right? We want qualitative and quantitative goals. So I think for you, setting a goal of either X number of jobs or X volume in sales for landscaping, I think would be a really good goal, a really good way for you to continue that momentum with your landscaping side of the business.
Well, that's where you come in because I've already I went out and bought a board. I got it on the wall. Never
Oh,
had a
good for
board.
you.
I wrote the goals down, and then I'm going to send it to you. And I guess it's not your job to figure this out for me, but you'll have an idea of what I'm trying to reach. That way, you're not swimming in the deep end. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell does this guy really want? This
Yeah.
is a target I have now.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I like that you're doing that. It's important to have those goals written down in a way too that you can see them. That's actually really important, because it's kind of like that out of sight, out of mind thing. Um, if you're not constantly kind of referencing back to those goals that you're setting for yourself, then how do you know that you're on target for those goals? So I love
Right.
that you've written them down. They're in your office. They're in your face every day. And also, for those of you that don't know, I do social media for Aaron. So I think having a clear vision of what you're wanting to accomplish this year and not that I would need to see all of your goals. I don't need to see your financials to figure out how to guide you in social media. But I think knowing what your overall goals are is going to help me make sure that I'm gearing the flyers that we're creating, the marketing efforts that we're making, the social media content. It's going to help make that more cohesive and make sure that it's really getting you to your goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking to reach him, and I don't think I was too far off from him last year when I started writing it down. So when I wrote them down now, it's not unreachable, to be honest. So I don't think any goal is really unreachable as long as you set your mind to it. It's
Yeah.
what's it what's it going to cost me to get them?
I will say that I was just kind of looking this up while we were talking about goals here, but there is a study by Matthews and Devine in 1998 that found that people who write down their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them than those who don't. So if you're out there kind of just brainstorming your goals, that's great. But at some point, you need to, I'm going to say, pull an errand and write them down where you can see them because writing them down like psychologically, I think has a lot of impacts on us. Like, okay, I'm writing this down. It's something I'm going to commit to. It's something other people can see, other people know about, and that's going to give you more motivation to actually work hard in accomplishing those goals.
Yeah, it's I see it every day when I walk in here now. When I come check it out and run an ad or something. So
Right.
it's right here in my face. Not like it's out underneath a rock or out
Written
back.
or like written on a post-it note that gets lost in translation, and then you're cleaning off your desk and you actually accidentally threw away your goal. Like put it somewhere where it's not going to get thrown away. It's going to be seen. You can regularly review it. And I think again what you said about knowing your goal, number one, but then okay, and I'm going to take these steps to get me towards my goals is really important as well, so that you can have those checkpoints to know that, hey, it's let's just say April, for example. Where am I on my landscaping goal? Where am I on my landscape lighting goal? Where am I on my administrative goal? And I think people forget sometimes that all our goals don't always have to be like directly about sales. I mean, obviously that's very important, right? Like you said, we're here to make the sale. We're here for that transactional side of it. We want to make money. That's why we're all here. But there are processes and procedures that I think sometimes people aren't great at too, that make us less efficient, which ultimately costs us money. So, like, for example, I know that after we did our first couple of lighting jobs with you, we were kind of like, okay, we need a better organization. Like, we need some sort of like trailer or some sort of like, I don't have the right phrase for it, so I'm just going to call it like a rolling toolbox, some sort of structure where we can keep all of these little things together that we keep having to go back and get because we've forgotten them. Or like even
Yeah,
even a checklist. Maybe this year, if you're having trouble with your crews, you're going to implement a checklist system at the beginning of the day. It says, okay, I've got these two blowers, these hedge trimmers, this weed eater, this mower, whatever. And at the end of the day, they do the same checklist. Okay, did I come back with all of those things, and are they prepped and ready to go for the next day? Those are great goals too to help maximize someone's efficiency. Again, which is going to save you money.
yeah, and just follow through because
Yeah.
following through is super important for a business. I know there's and I'm not gonna. I don't know the best way to say it. There's companies that ask me to uh, try some of their things and let them know. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's from radio or Facebook or whatever, but they send me stuff, and then I'm like, hey, let me buy this amount of X, and I want it right now, and I'll never hear from them again, and I'm willing to
Right.
buy it, try it, and all that stuff. So I don't want to be that guy in my landscape company.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think sometimes too we forget. I know I was talking about this. I don't even remember when I said this. It was some point last week, but as I think it was on my holiday show about shopping small. As we want Google reviews, we want the reviews, and so do other businesses that are going to work that we buy from and that we work with. So I know that's one thing that I try to do, kind of like I have just an ongoing goal for myself, is anytime I'm interacting with another small business is leave them a review if I've had a positive experience. I'm not one to go to Google and give somebody a 1 star unless I had a horrendous experience. And then typically I'm actually emailing, like I'm going to their website, finding an email and emailing them directly about my problem or experience that I had. But um, as you are thinking about getting your customers to give you Google reviews or Facebook reviews or whatever, think about how you can also do that for the companies that you work with and have a positive experience, right? Kind of like what you said, modeling, like, I don't want to be that type of company to people that kind of ghosted me. So how can I better support the companies that do treat me well?
Yeah, like I don't know. I've acted out in the past. I've let stress get to me, and I'm writing it on the board now. Is no bad reviews. I can't stop a bad
Right,
review, but I don't want to do anything to open the door to just like be an ass to them.
right,
You know, I can do everything right and still get one,
right.
but I don't want to give them a good reason to give me one,
And side
an easy
note,
one.
Yeah, just so everyone knows. Side note, it is good practice to respond to those reviews, whether they're good or bad. Make sure as those are coming in that you're responding to them on your Google business profile or whatever it is. Um, that helps, as they say, the algorithm, that helps the algorithm out with just keeping you having those good responses, I think improves your visibility or whatever on those sites as well too. So kind of keep
Yeah.
that in mind to maybe check it like once a week or once a month or whatever, and make sure you're responding to those as they do come in, because we got them. We've gotten those good reviews. Let's make sure we maximize that to um, the most we can.
Yeah, I get a lot of them tips from the Profit Circle,
Yay,
like
yay!
Craig. Craig is not a good tip. So I listen to him when he's on there in the Zoom meetings. I try
Yeah,
and pay attention. A lot of them guys, they got a lot of good stuff. But I know Craig, he's got a lot of good tips.
yeah, and not to like toot. And you can speak to your experience too within the profit circle, but not to toot the horn too loudly for the profit circle. But I do want to give Daniel and Wayne a shout out on the community that they've really built there. It's a community I feel like that, like you said, Aaron, you can actually talk to people who give good advice and who you can trust to give good advice and give honest feedback when people post questions in the profit circle. So if you're not a part of that community already, I'll let Aaron speak to it in a second, but consider gifting yourself that membership. And it's super affordable, especially for all of the content that you're getting. This year to help your business in 2025. Do you want to talk a little bit more, Aaron, about your experience with the Profit Circle?
Yeah, like YouTube, when you want to buy something, you can go to YouTube and you can search something, but it's usually paid promotion or somebody got something for free and they're like, yeah, buy it, all that stuff. This weeds all that nonsense out. So, like Mike down in Bowling Green, I I got a bookkeeper and she does my taxes as well. And last year she said, Aaron, I'm not telling you to buy something, so don't have your wife call me after you've done left here and bought something. I'm saying that if you make a purchase this year, it would help offset some of this stuff you're fixing to have to pay in. And I was like, well, really don't need a mower. I don't need a truck. I don't, all these things. And I was, from the profit circle, I've met Mike Murphy down in Bowling Green. I'm like, Mike, this tractor you're using, how do you like it? And
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get paid by John Deere to tell me how he likes it or anything. He just said, this thing has helped me X, Y, Z. And, the I'm not sure what the profit circle price is, but I think it's $20 a month or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
I just know that it's
it's
beneficial.
19.99 a month, which is less than most of your streaming subscriptions these days.
So that $20 has saved my back a ton by buying this tractor because Mike was right. I make exactly that or more a month off this tractor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sit. I do make money off of it. It's a monthly payment, but it pays for itself. And I was hesitant to buy something if it wasn't for actually being able to talk to somebody, not sitting a comment on YouTube or Facebook and getting 57 directions pulled towards me.
Right. And
I
it's a
don't know if that
space.
helps.
No, yeah, I think what I'm going to go back to what I hear the underlying message there is it's a space where you feel safe and confident in to trust the answers that you're going to get, not just from Wayne, but from the other members that are active in there as well. And that's something I feel like that, Turfs Up Radio really strives to build that community of professionals in this industry. And I think that's something that the Profit Circle offers on a small scale, to have a group, an inner circle, if you will. I know it's the Profit Circle, but like literally an inner circle of people that have some of the same experience as you, but also different experiences than you, and can really just be a sounding board for ideas and questions that you have about your business, where you're going to get an answer that you can trust and like you can really think about and consider, versus like you said, just Googling or YouTubing it and coming across the first 10 posts are paid sponsorships of something.
Yeah, it's a safe space where you don't have some smart ass with a the laughing face.
Yes.
When you ask a question and it's just, man, I'm just trying to get an answer. I get it.
Right.
I'm not going to take a lawnmower's manual out with me and read 700 pages in the manual. Just give me the
Right.
damn answer. If when you go into this, it voids all that. It's got that filter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really great space, and I'm proud to have been a part of it in the little few ways that I have been, and content that I've even provided in there. But yeah, everybody I see in there that's active. I know we have a lot of people that go in after the fact and watch the webinars or watch the videos or look at the blog posts that are made. But those of you that are really active in there and interacting and asking questions, I think are really getting so much more out of it that can even be quantified just because of that community that's being built.
Yeah, I'm fixing to ask a question in it. What is and it's gonna have good feedback in there, is what is maybe not better, but what is stronger, a targeted marketing scheme or word of mouth?
Yeah.
What is more powerful? That's the question I'm gonna ask in there.
I'll keep my eye on that and see what types of responses we get from people. I'm really excited to see what people say.
Because I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, but I'm sure we'll get some good stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm looking for.
Yeah. I'm excited, and I'll throw my 2 cents in there once the questions posted, and um well, yeah, we'll go from there. But I know we talked about your goals for landscaping. What is an area that besides that you have for an area of growth for this year or for, this coming year?
Snow and ice. I know absolutely nothing about it,
Okay.
and just getting out there and getting my feet wet, so
Yeah.
to speak. I guess it's scary, because people slip and fall, and everybody's
Right.
looking to point a damn finger, and just doing it right, and making sure I don't lose the farm.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is an investment in terms of, equipment that you need, materials that you need. And like you said, you are taking on a lot of that responsibility in terms of keeping a property safe, and making sure that you're doing it the right way. It's probably more so important with snow and ice than like the way that you're mowing or the way that you're trimming or whatever. There's a lot more pressure on that snow and ice management side of it. But um, if I know anything about you, Aaron, I know that you're going to take the time to do your research. You're going to take the time to find out the information that you need to find to make sure you're doing it right. So I'm excited to see kind of where this progresses for you over this next year. Now, do you have any? Are you going to try to do any snow and ice management like right now, or is this like a next winter project you're building up towards?
No, I got a contract. Wayner helped me with the contract, so I got one person has four places. They're
Okay.
about, I don't know, 5 or 10 miles from each other. It's a restaurant in Evansville, so I've got that to cover, and it's spooky. I'm not gonna lie, I'm
Yeah.
spooked on it. But I guess anything new. The word "new" means scary.
Right.
It's in that cartoon. What is it? The Grooves. Do you remember that cartoon
No, I don't remember that one. That is one thing I
where they're
really
cavemen?
miss. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That is one thing that I really miss with the decrease in just like the paper, the popularity of an actual physical newspaper. I used to love the comic section. Oh my God, I loved that section.
When they get on there, they say anything new is scary. Anything new is bad.
Yeah.
They're cavemen. So that's me. Anything new is
On,
scary.
I
Anything
think
new is bad.
I think that's, I think that can be a lot of the attitudes for people for new things, not just within this industry, but just for people in general. We like feeling comfortable, right? Our body we tend to stick to routines. We tend to stick with the same like friends group and experiences because we like that feeling of comfort, but growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. You know, like I know you've made a lot of progress on your health and wellness journey this year, working with Daniel and listening to him on the pump station on a regular basis. And you had to get uncomfortable to make those changes happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's paid off. So, well, we'll see. You know, snow and ice. I hear Wayner saying it all the time. He says a lot of things. I don't apply it immediately, and he busts my chops about it. But
Look,
I
it's about growth, right? We got to take it step by step. And we're only ready for what we're ready for, and we can only push ourselves so far out of the comfort zone, at a time. So you're making those steps. The thing is, though, you're hearing what he's saying. That's the important thing too. Is you may not make everything an immediate change, but you're hearing what's being said, and you're implementing that in ways that you can manage, and that's also really important towards achieving your goals. Is making manageable steps.
Yeah, it's like a mustard seed. He's planting it. It just takes forever.
There you go. What is it? I heard this quote. I don't even know if it was real. I think I heard it on a movie, but someone sitting in shade today because someone else decided to plant a tree or something like that. It takes time. Some things you're gonna like really see good results from right at the beginning, and then it might taper off. Some things might build up really slow and then start to explode for you. So you just have to stay committed to those goals and regularly check in and say, how are things going? Are they moving in the right direction? What am I doing that's going well? What am I doing that I could be doing differently? And just keep monitoring those goals.
Yeah, yeah. So if he's sitting there wondering like, why do I keep repeating myself? He's repeating it because God wants him to, because I'm too damn hard headed to hear it the first time.
Look, I think when you have kids, you learn that repeating yourself is the only option. I
Ain't
know
that
that
the truth?
I know with like even as a teacher, like you'd have the directions on the board, you would have said the directions, you would have asked someone to repeat the directions back to you, and then you still get asked, "Hey, why haven't you started on this? I don't know what we're doing." Okay.
That's my daughter.
Oh shoot. So I think, it's not that I know sometimes it can get frustrating, just for people in general when we repeat ourselves, but like you said, sometimes the message doesn't fully sink in and take root all the time. Like think about how many times you hear commercials on the radio. They don't play it once and then stop. They haven't gotten the results they need from one commercial. You keep replaying it, you keep replaying it, and you keep replaying it. So I think that's how the message gets across. That's how we take time to process it and take it in. And I'm a big believer in that. Um, Not fate necessarily, but I think things will come together as they're meant to. And when you're ready to really and truly hear the information and process the information and utilize that information, it will sink in at the right time.
Yeah,
So don't feel bad.
I think you're right.
Don't feel bad about getting him to repeat himself or ask him the same question 9 times. It's good for him.
Oh, I know. I hit him with it every time I get a chance to, and he answers it every time. He's like, God, see, I've been telling you.
Oh,
Can I give
shoot.
Landscaper Roots a shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Airmall host Landscaper Roots. So if you haven't listened to my show, it's okay. You don't have to. If you want to, check it out. It's usually the solo operator uh, perspective from my eyes because that's what I do. That's who I am. It's better to talk about experiences and give experiences, but that's not why I'm talking about me. I'm talking about my show is because we give shit away on mine. So if you
Hell
want some free
yeah.
shit,
Yes,
if you want some
indeedy.
free shit, listen up because we got a Wicked Wednesday. It's going to be probably coming up monthly, once a month. That will be Wicked Warning. They come on my show and they give shit away. So
Cool.
not only that, we're looking for a free Friday. I've talked to some manufacturers. They are in. They want to give some stuff away. And also, we are getting a safety roundup. So I climb on the roof. and I don't want to fall off. So I am getting a rope training in Texas, and we are going to have Damon from Seat Gear. He's wanting to support this safety roundup. So is Wicked Warnings and Kevin Kramer from Reality Rope Access. If you're climbing on the roof and don't want to fall off and can't make it down there and want to hear about what they offer as far as training or some safety equipment, stay tuned. Was that too long?
No, I like that. And look, people like free stuff. And I love that you're getting people involved from all sorts of different aspects in terms of, especially like with the safety side of it, because I think that's sometimes things that can be overlooked. But yeah, I really like that. I'm excited. I think, did Daniel win something or was that just something you sent him the other day? Remember when it came in and we were on the show?
I don't know. He said something. I think he got a shirt.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, he got it. He got a shirt, and so I can verify that you will get the stuff that you win. Okay, so this isn't a scam, but yeah. So I thank you for sharing that. Shout out to your landscaper roots. Now, when can people tune into that, Aaron?
All right. My show is from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. slow time. Whatever else time that is, I don't know in America.
So
this is American
for
time.
those of you that don't know, slow time is Central Standard Time.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
I
knew
do
that.
know.
I knew that.
I might not be able to tell you where Central Time is or anything like that, but I can tell you it's called Central Time, baby.
Slow time.
All right. Well, Aaron, I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me and being honest and open with me about your goals and your successes and your areas for growth. And I am looking forward to seeing how this progresses for you in 2025. I'm so excited that you found Turfs Up Radio and you're a part of the family. And I'm just really excited to see what 2025 has in store for you.
Me too. I appreciate you having me on, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well, and I hope you and your family have a great holiday.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, well, I was on with Aaron. Darren actually gave us a call, so let's give him a holler and see what he's into these days.
Good morning.
Hello, Darren. I just got off the phone with Aaron.
I know. I was listening. I have a surprise for him.
Oh, my Lanta. Okay, well, maybe he's still listening. If not, you can call him after this.
Oh, I'm sure he's listening. Everybody listens to Katie.
I've been on so many hours this week, like I don't know what to do with myself.
It's like the Katie show, the nonstop.
Oh, God, tell me about it.
It's like the show. Remember, it's like the show that never ends.
Oh, my God, you're telling me. Look, you all need to send a text, send an email, send us on Instagram, whatever. These hosts work really hard to come up with their shows, and I don't know, maybe some of them are just really great at winging it, but let me just tell you, I have put in a lot of time and thought and effort into just the little bit that I've been covering and with my holiday pop-up show, and it really is a commitment, and they're doing this out of the generosity of their own hearts and minds. And so just shout out to all the hosts on Turfs Up Radio and everybody that's a part of that to make this what it is, because it really is to elevate the industry, and it's not workless work. That's for sure.
And it's not. You're right. It's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes you come up like, "Oh, what the hell am I going to talk about?" But you just want to relate. You just want to be relatable, and you tell stories, and that's why we say we should have more people should get on and start telling their stories. Love that. Love when you have people on like that. It's great. But it's funny. I reached out, I don't know, a year ago to Gravely. I know that Aaron loves the equipment, and I reached out to Gravely, and I got a LinkedIn response from him today that and they want to jump on his show, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting for him. So I wanted, because he always sends me, Katie, he always sends me names of companies that he wants to bring on live on his show.
Yeah.
So, like, he sends me, like, he won't even say what. He'll just say, like, Skag. 60 chopper. Like it doesn't say, and I'm like, all right. So what do you want me to do with this? I know what he wants me to do. He wants me to call him and get a hold of him, get him on the air.
Yeah.
I'm his secretary.
Well, look, you're the head honcho, so you're in charge of coordinating all the things.
I'm not the head honcho. You guys are doing such a great job. How do we get you to be full time on Turfs Up Radio and then just allow these people to take time to give you a break? That would be great.
I know. I appreciate everybody that's tuned into my holiday show. If you haven't heard it, it is available anywhere you find podcasts. It's called Katie's Holiday Pop-Up Show. But I've had a few people text in and say, you need to do like a regular DJ show or something. So maybe I'll have to think about that. But I also feel like the specialness of the show was that it was limited time. I don't know, you know?
What do you mean? It's a limit. Okay, so it's a limited time because it's season.
Yeah, it made it like more valuable to people tune in to listen to me because I'm not talking all the time. You know, I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
People like listening to you. I told you, Renee doesn't want anything to do with the green industry. Nothing. Nothing. She won't even get on the air with me. Nothing to do. But she listens, and she listens to you, and she listens to Wayne, and she listens to everybody. I think it's funny. It's like it blows my mind. Because I was listening today, and I heard Wayne. Did you hear what Wayne said, or did you hear what? Because when she's at work, she might be in the stock room, at her work, and she turns her radio on. I'm like, I never knew she did that. She told me that the other day. She goes, "Yeah, I listen to it all the time."
That's funny.
I'm like, "Well, that's cool." Yeah, so that was really cool. But I was going to say to you, like, God, would love to. I'd love to have, we need somebody that's on all the time. But it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's really difficult.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel for doing it every day. That's on the pump station.
So he's officially the longest running show now on Turfs Up Radio.
That's cool.
And he does his podcast does well too. You know his numbers. You see his numbers.
Yeah.
His podcast does really well also.
He is dedicated, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you done for today? Or are you gonna stay on? I don't think there's anything after you.
Well, I'm going to hop off because I'm going to record the Christmas Eve show for my holiday pop-up. So if you are hanging out on Christmas Eve with nothing to do, I'm going to be putting together a pre-recorded show full of music, full of shout-outs. So be sure to listen in to Turfs Up Radio or grab that on where you listen to podcasts. It'll be out on 12/24.
Okay, that's awesome. That's great. Maybe send me the show too, and I'll run it. And people can listen to it if they miss it. And by the way, I wanted to tell you. I know you got to go, but I remember. I don't know if you do, but I remember when DJs, like local terrestrial radio stations, the DJs themselves were starting to do podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? I remember my local DJ, and I always wondered, like, what's a podcast? Like, why do I want to listen to you on a podcast when I could just listen to you live?
Right.
It's so weird how things have changed and evolved. Isn't it weird?
It is. I know that I got in early on a podcast that's called My Favorite Murder, and they talk about different histories of different murders. But I remember jumping onto that train. I think I found them when they were like 15 episodes in or something, and that was like before COVID. But I know podcasts really exploded during that COVID time frame too.
Yeah, it did. Hey, listen, if you like murder, I'm not. If you don't want to, if you like to commit murder, I got the right. That's not what I meant. If you like murder stories and weird, mysterious stories, you ever hear of Mr. Ballard? Mr. Ballard,
No.
Ballard. Look him up on YouTube. And he tells stories. He tells these stories in story form. He talks about real life mystery stories or things that murder stories and stuff like that. Mr. Ballard.
Okay.
Just check him out. I friggin' love. I reached out to him. I want to play some of his stories on Turfs Up Radio, like on the weekends or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I'm hoping that he'll let me do it. I mean, he does YouTube, but if he can let me put it on Turfs Up Radio, it would be really cool. But check him out. Check him out. Let me know what you think about it.
Yeah,
all right?
I definitely will.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend.
All
Thanks
right,
for
yes.
everything you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Have a great day, Darren.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so that is about it here for us today on Profit Time. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to set those goals. Make sure they are manageable. Make sure you put them somewhere that you can see them. Make sure that they're realistic. Join us in the Profit Circle. Treat yourself to that community, that mentorship. You'll get a lot out of it. Versus the just simple $19.99 that you're spending to be a part of it. And you can try it free with 100% access to everything for 7 days. Check that out at profits, AREUS.com. You can find all the information there, or you can shoot any of us a text or give us a call, and we'll be happy to hook you up with the access to that as well. But I hope you have a very good weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, winter officially starts tomorrow. And I hope that you make good choices. So have a great day. We'll see you later. Stay here. You're listening to Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.